So what goes on, man?
Oh, it's the end of the world or the stoppage of the world right now with no imminent ending.
I feel you.
Yeah, just taking it day by day, trying to use my platform to talk about the restaurant industry and where we're at, and also trying to keep my head on straight throughout all this, which is important, and let those feelings pass of uncertainty. Yeah, how are you?
Um, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'm I'm acknowledging, accepting there's a new reality, and I'm on here on a chicken farm with chickens and ducks.
Really? What is like where is that at?
Right now, I'm in Westchester,
Oh, in
up up
Westchester?
up near Pound Ridge. I have a friend that has a space up here.
Okay. Are you like killing the chickens and eating them? Like and fresh eggs every morning?
Fresh eggs every morning. But
Okay.
no, they're the chickens are my friends. We're not going to eat the chickens yet.
All right. Yeah, I grew up raising chickens in Africa. They were my friends until we had to eat them. It was always sad day,
I
especially
know that feeling.
too. But but yeah, man, it's interesting. I had to close the restaurant down, lay off like 65 people, which is crazy.
Devastating.
Yeah, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And not because it was like letting them go. It was like I didn't know when they were coming back. And I didn't have answers for them. And as like a chef, you're always looked to as a leader, always someone who has all the answers. And it was 4 weeks ago. And the only thing I can do is check up on them and see how they're doing. But I don't have any answers, which is the hard part. And I know there's so many other restaurants out there that are going through the same thing.
So, I mean, I've been reading a lot and just thinking about my next moves because I know that in times like this, resilient people are going to rise out of this and establish what the new normal is. I mean, this is definitely going to be the new normal. It's reflecting and really coming to a space in my mind in which where clarity and a clear mind will help you make sound decisions on how to rebuild again. Like I have no doubts whatsoever that you're going to rebuild again.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubts whatsoever. Um, but I mean, for creatives, like how is that now? Like, what do you feel like your mission is?
I think I'm still trying to figure it out. I was definitely like balancing a lot of different things going into this. I'm writing my second book. I have the movie that I'm working on, my own TV show that was getting like pitched around almost signing. So there was a lot of different creative outlets that I had that I never would have even guessed, before,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the media aspect of it all. But it's now trying to pivot. Like, do I do online cooking demos like once a week? Am I like taking on brands and endorsing brands and just working on building those partnerships, getting those like year out endorsements? So like that's where it's shifting. But connecting with people is the biggest part of my business, right? I'm in the business of gatherings, of taking care of people, having that personal connection.
You're in the business of gatherings, and I guess because for you, the two most important senses for your customers, of course, are taste and smell.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, I still feel like for your line of work, there's a bigger story than the story of just exercising taste and smell. Um, Even for me, it is a little surreal how um, I felt a little bit silly like doing these like DJ gigs in the comfort of my pajamas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm a guy who once finished the last note of his late night show, ran straight to Teterboro,
Mm-hmm.
hopped on a plane to Germany, drove to Italy to DJ for 5 hours just to circle back immediately and get on the plane and land in New York City that following Sunday. So to go from that, and that was only me DJing for maybe 2,000 people, to suddenly it's like there's a whole new world out there where now nightly I'm hitting about 300,000 people in one fell swoop. 300,000 people, which I probably now in the last 3 weeks have DJ'd to more people collectively than I have in my 25 years of doing that. And I truly think that it's your future is going to determine with what energy you put into the next 4 weeks. So I know it's very easy for us to wake up in the morning and to be like, damn, you know, to be like that and to feel like, well, I'm certain for you, it's like, well, I can't use smell or taste to really reach the people I want to reach. Similar that I can't use sound and visual in the way that I would like to normally, the way that I've been using it for all of my life.
Yeah, that true connection.
Right. But this is what's going to make mice and men and kings. And even though, yes, I too feel the pressure of, you know, I have a staff of 33 people that I have to constantly, you know, I gotta make sure that they're straight first, keep my staff straight, there's that. But I think what we do in these next 8 weeks are going to determine our future. And we cannot put any ounce of doubt or fear into these uncharted territories that we're going into. And, you know, in the first 5 days, I felt silly. You know, I didn't want to do my killer sets that I always do when like the set that I did at Jay-Z's Gold Party that we were at.
Yeah.
Like the temptation to not do that set, you know, and to challenge myself. Like, how else can I reach people DJing music that I normally wouldn't do? And it's actually serving me better, like finding alternative ways. So instead of maybe cooking for people, or maybe instead of that, you know, now you use your knowledge. Like I learned a lot from you about how food works, from bringing it from where you were to coming here, you know, to bringing different types of cuisines from the world to the United States, and how you tell your story. Like there is a way for you to still, you know, use your culinary expertise as a you know, for political movement, for social movement, and for all those things.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
It's scary, but it's exciting. It's scary, but it's exciting.
And that's why it's exciting, right? Because it's the first time you don't know what's happening. I feel like a lot of times people like us that are artists, or even like people within the culinary industry, you know your next move. You're like, okay, next week I'm doing this. Even if you're like, you don't have a gig coming up, you have another one lined up just in case. And this is the one time where there's this unknown. And there's an excitement in that where you don't know what's happening. And I agree with you. It's tough. Some days I do get up and I'm like, man, like, I have no idea when the restaurant's going to open. I had another restaurant in the pipeline that I was working on. Like now I have to start from scratch. But there are other days that excites me because I'm able to really like start at zero for the first time in forever. I've never been able to do that. So right now I'm also using my platform to talk about these political aspects of this shutdown and like the CARES Act, and how it doesn't really represent restaurants. It represents some restaurants, but it doesn't represent independent restaurants, the restaurants that feed America, the restaurants that people love going to, the restaurants that are like someone's American dream that they've put their hard-earned money into. So we started the IRC, the Independent Restaurant Coalition, with a bunch of chefs, and we hired a lobbying company, and we've been getting some action in to get in front of key members in Congress, to get representation into the CARES Act that really represents like the restaurants, like altering the PPP and getting a restaurant stabilization fund, and making sure these loan forgiveness, or whenever we have to pay them back, it's not 2 years, it's 10 years, and giving us some time.
Right.
Because most of these, billion-dollar companies are getting bailouts, and we're a trillion-dollar company.
Right. Right.
At restaurants, we employ over 11 million people around the world, around America. So we need to have some sort of representation in there. So this time is also used for that. I mean, we speak every single day. I call it the Avengers of like the restaurant industry. I'm definitely.
Oh, so you all get together on Zoom and you.
Yeah, every day. And we make sure we're all on the same page so we can speak for the rest of the restaurant community. And then I'm probably
So
heading.
is that just on a local level? Like, is that just for the tri-states, New York, Atlantic, or?
It's national. It's everyone. I mean, it's
Okay.
from Tom Colicchio to Andrew Zimmern to Danny Meyer to Marcus Samuelson to me, everyone. I mean, it's like 70 people on the Zoom call every morning. This conference, it's wild. But we collectively get together and use our voices and use our connections to get in front of the right people. So I have that going on, and then I'm heading up to the Bronx soon to help reopen this restaurant, Gotham Mott Haven Bar and Grill, to feed the local, because people aren't thinking about the community college kid that is in school that can't be in school. They also don't have a job. Obviously, they're in college, and they're community college. So the Bronx is being hit harder than most other boroughs. All of the minority communities are. You've got three times more of a chance in the Bronx if you get coronavirus to die than if you lived in Manhattan, just because of the healthcare opportunities and the existing healthcare issues that are already plaguing these communities. So I want to go up there and help out my hometown. I was born and raised there, and just use my efforts where I can. I also feel like being a servant in this time is like the most important thing you can do when you have a platform or you have a gift, to just utilize it in a way that helps others. So
that's beautiful, man. I mean, yeah, now it's time for that. Same with, I DJ to raise, so far I think that Food Hub NYC has so far provided over 200,000 meals to people. I've been DJing every night trying to raise money so that people can help those kids at food and finance school who otherwise, I mean, a lot of those kids depend on those school meals to sustain them, and they don't get 3 square meals a day when they're at home or whatever. So yeah, just to sustain them and get them at least through this first cycle. So every week is a struggle to raise new money, but I think that's what's important.
I mean, we did that. Probably the last food event in New York was that gala.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Jesus, my last DJ gig.
Yeah, that was my last event.
Yeah.
And
how apropos.
Crazy.
How apropos. Well, yeah, man. Just stay strong and I feel like this is a time in which kings will step up and rise. And
absolutely.
you and I had no choice but to be that.
Absolutely. And we're going to, I appreciate your words of encouragement, and thanks for everything you're doing for the kids there. That's awesome. Stay up, and I'll see you on the other side of this whole thing. All right.
Yes, sir. All right, Kwame.
All right, man.
See you later.
Peace.